All right. Good evening, everyone. Let me introduce you all to our Robert Pralgo. How are you, Rob?
Good to see you. Doing great. Thanks for having me, Alec. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. So they're just, let's see, we're just spooling up the FTLs, as it were, as the streams. Oh, let's see. Something's wrong with the stream. Hold on a second. You stay right there. We're not broadcasting correctly. Hold on. All right, so for some reason we're not broadcasting to YouTube. So give me a second. Let me just figure. This never happened before. What did you bring on board with you?
Did I poison the place?
Your gremlins from the Enterprise.
I brought some trebles, and they're crawling all throughout your.
Actually, it's okay. I see it on. So I see it on the channel. I see it on the YouTube channel, but for some reason, let's see. I see it on. Let's see. Let me just switch channels, see if it's on the Facebook, on the Axanar channel. Hold on one sec. Yeah, no, it's working. Okay. For some reason, StreamYard does not show it actually broadcasting to YouTube, but it looks like we are broadcasting to YouTube. So screw StreamYard. So
awesome.
Anyway, so welcome. Thanks for joining us on this Friday evening.
My pleasure.
I hope you are staying safe and healthy over the last couple of months.
So far, so good. I'm sort of a homebody regardless. So there's just not that I wanted everybody else to have a reason to stay at home, but I literally just finished a 2.5-hour acting class on Zoom. So I was online anyway, just
very good
acting class. So I literally just went and grabbed some water, sat back down at the same desk, and can kind of function from here. So
now tell us about this acting class. You teach it?
Yeah, I've been teaching. I accidentally got into teaching acting years ago. I've been studying acting and pursuing it for about 34, 35 years now. And about 15 years ago, a buddy of mine asked me if I would coach him for an audition. And I was like, why? Why do you want me? And we worked on it, and there was some positive reaction to it. And he told a friend, and he told a friend. And then about a month later, there were about 6 people at my house waiting for me to coach him. And I thought, this is kind of like a class. So I just opened my doors, and we just started having these sort of unstructured classes that were more like coming to the gym, and we would just work out with certain specific acting tools that I thought were important for a foundation. Not like a school, but just one class. We worked on a couple of different tools. And, as I grew as an actor, the classes grew, and I found something amazing, because I never thought I'd wanted to teach. I never dreamed of teaching, but I found that when you teach, you really dig up and remember all the things you've learned. So it's sort of like reteaching yourself. And I found myself in class telling people to do things and thinking, why don't I do that? That's a good idea. I know that. Why don't I do that? So, in almost in direct ratio, the more I taught, the more I worked too. So it was a way of also getting me to spend more time with the craft. And I fell in love with it too. So I have a little space in Marietta right now. And I, obviously with this going on, I'm just in my office. So I just, as much as I can, it's getting different people to share the space with me and talk and work the craft. It's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure.
Well, so I really haven't revealed this to the rest of the public, but other than, I think we've talked about this a little bit maybe yesterday with some of the viewers here, but we are going to try, knock wood right now, try and do a 2-day shoot here at the end of July, which basically as we've told everyone, we've got 2 days of shooting left in LA, 7 characters, 2 days, which we're going to squeeze into 2 days of shooting in LA. And it's in LA because that's where the actors are. That's where our makeup guy is. makes more sense for us to fly in there than it does to fly everyone to Atlanta. Found a great green screen studio, but obviously the thing that's, I mean, we should have shot this already. We're going to shoot in May. The challenge, of course, as you know, is COVID-19. It has shut down the industry. But about 2 weeks ago now, they came out with guidelines. The unions put together a task force. The task force came out with a 22-page white paper, said, all right, this is basically what you got to do, which, to be honest with you, you and I could have written. I didn't see anything in that white paper that was like, oh, wow, okay, I didn't think of that.
Gotcha.
Jeff, our DP, and I have, we've been talking about this and talking about it. But it's, social distancing, minimum crew, everyone wears masks, everyone's getting hand sanitizer, wash your hands, take the temperature.
Yep.
Boom mic, no labs, stuff like that, you kind of worked it through, you figure that shit out, but, by yourself. So we figure we've kind of got a handle on. We talked to Chris Mills. You know Chris.
Sure, but Chris is the one who sort of got me to this project in a way. I think was he the one that recommended me because he knew that I had done that other movie. I thought it was Chris.
No, I think I've been talking about you before I even contacted you with Scott Little and the prop guy.
Prop guy.
Oh, old age is getting me. And
Scott obviously I've worked with a lot. I love Scott. Yeah, so Scott.
Yeah, Scott's awesome. And so I'm going to think of it in like 5 minutes. Okay. Anyway, we talked, and then I talked to Kenny Smith, and everyone spoke very highly of you. Although I got to say, and for those of you who don't know, Rob played Robert April in Star Trek First Frontier, the fan film movie that was basically shot before the guidelines ever came out. And
exactly.
It's still in post-production, which I'm not going to knock anyone for being in the long-term post-production.
I spent my life in post-production. Just indie films take a while. Oh, God. So, I've seen the footage recently. It looked great. So I'm excited.
Good.
Whatever journey we took to get to where we're getting to, it looks better than had we settled early on. So
also got a good VFX guy that I believe I recommended, Kenny Smith, Sam Cockings over in the UK.
Okay, wow, okay.
He's doing a lot of different fan films, so it was a good choice to use him. But I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull up the trailer and show everyone. And why don't you tell everyone real quickly about this project?
First Frontier? Sure.
Yep.
Well, I met Kenny. I had done a couple episodes of Vampire Diaries back in the day, and then Kenny ran conventions called Icon, and they were each convention was specifically tailored towards a show that had a certain voracious fan base. So I got to go to a couple of these conventions, and I met Kenny there, and we hit it off, and just stayed in touch over the years. And he was a huge Star Trek fan, even early on. The conversations of Trek, were plentiful.
Matt Green.
Was that Matt
Green?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I know Matt.
Well, it took less than 5 minutes for me to remember.
Not bad. So and again, a lot of us, Star Trek was a bond between our fathers. Me and my father. Whether it was my stepdad or my father, Star Trek was always prevalent. Well, that was the same with Kenny, and that was a big bonding with him. And he always wanted to make it. He's a Star Trek connoisseur. I would imagine a lot like you. He's deeper into the lore than I'll ever imagine. I'm a fan. I was a fan primarily of the first series, the original series, and I've caught glimpses and bits and pieces of the others. But he's sort of a historian. He is into the depths and the lore and things I'll never ever know. And he always wanted to do a Star Trek movie. And he was telling me years ago about the story of Robert April and the predecessors to Kirk and the Enterprise. And he said he was going to make a story, and I was like, all right, you go and do that. You hear a lot of people talking about making movies, and you hope for the best, but the majority of the time it doesn't work out. Well, lo and behold, he put his money where his mouth was, and he funded and produced and directed a a feature-length Star Trek fan film that I introduced him to a buddy of mine named Zeke Flatten, who's Zeke's a tenacious producer. And together, the two of them and with a group of other people were able to piece together this insane schedule and had some wonderful sets made and brought in some really good actors. And we just had this crazy month-long night shoot of it. We all lost our minds. But, again, what I respect about Kenny so much is not just putting his money where his mouth was, but I think a lot of people would have given up over the time. It's taken so long to get it done. I've seen people bail on movies. I've seen people say, screw it, I'm not coming out. It's too much. And he not only, when Kenny made the movie, he wasn't a filmmaker. I mean, this is not a shot. He just wasn't. But now he is, because of what he's had to do and what he's learned about directing and writing and editing. He put himself in a position where he was forced to become a filmmaker. And now, lo and behold, I don't think this is a secret, I believe they want to release on like September 8th, which I believe is the 54th anniversary of the original series. I believe September 8th is the day. And so I got to see some clips the last couple of days, and it looks like Star Trek. I mean, that's the biggest compliment I can give it. You watch it and you go, this is unmistakably, and can only be one thing, Star Trek. And I think that's ultimately what the fans are going to go, oh shit, Star Trek. And that's what I'm thrilled about.
Great. Okay, well, we're going to play the trailer here. I've got it all booted up, and let's watch.
Rob, we need to talk about Starfleet.
I'm not tired of talking about Starfleet. Space is no man's game, Houston. I've done my time.
That turned an instant to a retirement ceremony.
I was staying on Earth for you!
You were staying on Earth.
Since the supply run,
On which you received the order of heroism.
which I visited a lot of.
Hey, Paul. I want you to take the Enterprise.
What's his name?
All will die.
My sister.
Looks like the device just armed itself.
Take the base of action now! Let's get more bubble. Alright, Luino! Fire now!
These are the treasures of the human adventure. And the adventure is just beginning.
All right.
I'm not even sure how early that trailer was. It felt like it was a while ago. Obviously, the date on it was 2019, so we're a little behind.
Yeah.
But that's just part of the process, especially in low budget indie filmmaking. You think there are obstacles getting big time movies made. Venture into a world which you have of low budget indie filmmaking, and the obstacles are plenty. And but again, everybody worked hard, and we got some really good people involved. People, working actors who you'll recognize from different genre shows and other things. I think everybody will get a kick at it, which is great.
Yeah, and I noticed Vince was on your bridge.
Canlis? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who's the Prosian on our bridge?
Oh, that's awesome. The crossover is great. I was so excited just when when I'd heard there was a possibility to play the character with you guys on a completely different show, getting to work with people with different ideas and almost bridging the universes in a way, which it seems to be that's the Hollywood theme right now. Universes and stuff. But it's just kind of neat to kind of with different direction and different ideas and different workflow to see how it worked out too. And it was just it was a pleasure.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to read it. Let me. A couple people have mentioned that you look like a young version of the Robert April in the animated Star Trek. Have you ever seen that episode?
I have not seen that. No. We got it. Can we pull it up?
Let's see.
The young version. How old was April? I feel like I'm 100 years old right now. Good luck.
My dog jumped into my lap because
I know.
fireworks off.
I got a cute face. I got my bulldog on the floor right here.
Let's see. Here we go. Is this gonna? Let me just see if this is.
I mean, they were thinking.
No, that's not it. I'm trying to find the actual video. Here we go. Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up and show you. I certainly could show pictures, but let's see. It's more okay. All right. So let me share this, and we'll take a look together.
Sure.
All right. So there's older Robert April.
Oh wow. Okay. There you go.
To babble after all, Commodore.
I'll be glad to get home, but not necessarily to babble. It only means the end of my career, Jim.
Message coming in from Ara.
And then.
I want to wish you luck, Captain. Whether you succeed.
Oh, and then here we
I'm
go.
aboard. I am senior officer.
Ah.
I hate to pull rank, but you will be capable of command only for a few minutes, not long enough to complete the maneuvers necessary to take us home.
You are correct, of course. Commodore April, command is yours.
Commodore? I'm Captain April, Mr. Spock.
Robert, we are the only adults on the bridge. They're all teenagers and children.
Make sure no harm.
So anyway, there you go.
Great.
There is a Captain April from the animated Star Trek.
Very cool.
So let's check. I'm going to check out
He's got a better
the comments.
hairline.
And let's see
He's got a
who's
better
saying.
hairline than I have. Look.
What's that?
He's got a better hairline than I have, and he's older than me.
Movie magic.
That's right.
What can you say? There's Silver Bullet. How are you? It's Stephen Shuey. Olive Drab says there are Andorians. Everyone loves Andorians. Let's face it.
Absolutely.
Blue skin, antennas. I mean, you got to love it.
They're all cute. It's hard to be a not cute Andorian. They're adorable. Thank you.
Oh, we actually have a Captain Robert April.
Oh wow.
It's an outstanding. I'm not sure if which fan film he's talking about. The Tresorian Intersection. That was a very, very old, but was still one of the best Star Trek fan films. So I'm just checking in. Hey, didn't Gene Roddenberry get recognized? No, they used a photo of Gene Roddenberry as Robert April in the Star Trek chronology that Mike and Denise Okuda put together. That's not canon. It's kind of cute. It's a little in joke. It probably was James Doohan doing the voice of Captain April, because he did like 3/4 of the voices on the animated series. Well, a lot of people don't know that.
Because I remember originally somebody said, "Are you going to do it with the British accent?" And I was like, I didn't know there was, when we first started doing the other movie, the casting. Nobody said anything about a British accent until like day one. I was like, "What?" They tell me on day one there was a British accent. So I was like, "No, I'm not a great accent guy. I'm going to go with intention and see if we can get away with it here."
Well, we talked about it internally, only because it's in the books. He's British.
Yeah.
And the books are not canon, right? There's a book called it's called The Final Frontier by I want to say it was Diane Carey or Diane Duane, one of the other. And are you okay, Mama? The fireworks are going off outside, and she's frightened. But anyway, they made him English, and so I originally wanted to cast. What's his name? One of the guys who played Doctor Who, Paul. What's his last name? He was in Luther too, in the first season.
Okay. Well, Luther's great. I love that series.
Oh yeah, who was he?
Was the original Doctor Who's? Okay, who was that?
He was one of the Doctor Who's. Yeah. Doctor. Someone else want to?
Jump in.
And tell me who I'm. And anyway, Paul McGann.
Oh wow, okay.
Paul McGann, yeah. Who I can show you. Mama, just chill out. I'll show you some photos of Paul. So here's Paul McGann. That's a good photo of him right there. And I was like, yeah, that, British. I like him a lot. He was in Luther, and I love that show, and he was really good. So I was like, yeah, and I actually had his number, and I texted him a couple times. I never heard back from him. He was, he was probably like, I'm not gonna do some fan film. So it would have been great to have someone like that, but we didn't.
I'm a big fan of people who turn down parts that I wind up getting. I'm a big fan. I'm a much bigger fan of his right now.
I don't blame you. I don't. Thank you. Donnie Pearson got it. Michael Sean Connery got it. Yeah, Power 543. They all got it. Paul McGann, who was really good at it. And he was, but anyway, yeah. So if that's the case, he would have been British. But since it's not canon. It really was. It was kind of dealer's choice. So you got the role, and there you go. If you'd done it with a British accent, I would have been okay.
There you go.
But we'll see. The important thing is, but the consistent thing is that his wife Sarah was the chief medical officer.
Yes.
So we were started to talk about before with the whole COVID-19. So what we're going to do before we go to LA is at the end of July we're going to do a 2-day shoot here in Atlanta. We're going to shoot you on day one, doing your letter from the front, your letter back home.
Sure.
And then day 2 is we're looking for a location to shoot a bar scene, because in the full script of Axanar there was a bar scene between Garth and April, and I'd love to shoot that scene. I'd love to work with you,
right.
And Ted Bernetti is going to coach us in that, which is phenomenal. And you've worked with Ted. Yeah,
I was telling you, I was introduced to him by some other actor friends back in the day, and I went and listened to him on he does one of those free Friday night, open houses, and I went and listened to him, and it was just genius. And I signed up for I was one of his scene study classes where he came in, and he was amazing. And I still talk about him and quote him in class constantly. It's great. Yeah, he was Uta Hagen's right-hand man for like years, long time.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yeah. And so, and for those of you who didn't see Ted Bernetti on Axanar Confidential last week, shame on you. Go back and watch it. You're absolutely going to watch it. That's a really, really important episode, and you'll learn all about Ted. But Uta Hagen is, kind of, when they talk about, Strasbourg, and they talk about, the Meisner School, and you can talk about Meisner, you can talk about the Actors Studio, Stanislavski, and in the middle is Uta Hagen, basically. And Uta Hagen wrote 2 legendary books on acting.
First one was Respect for Acting.
Yeah, Respect for Acting, which I had to read. Howard Fine made us read that.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
A Challenge for the Actor? I believe Challenge for the Actor.
I think that's it, yeah. And I need to reread those books now, because when I read them, when I started Howard's class, I took class with Howard Fine out, and he's another disciple of Uta Hagen. And when I took Howard's class, Howard is, as I've always told people, he's one of the top, 3 or 4 acting coaches in Hollywood.
Sure.
Chris Pine, he's Chris Pine's acting coach. He's Bradley Cooper's acting coach. Lots of big names. But when I started with Howard, I didn't know shit about acting. So this was 2012. And I had read the book then. And reading the book then, it was just words on a page.
Sure.
And I really need to go back and read it now, because now I'm going to go,
it's amazing rereading. And that's why I don't get rid of any of these books. That when you revisit things with perspective, and you go, oh, duh, no shit.
That's what she was talking about.
And it's just, but you got to read it. You got to not know it. Then you got to go work it, and then you got to learn it, and you got to hear it from different people in different ways. You got to experience different things, and it's just you're never not a student. That's the beauty of acting. You never graduate from acting. It's every experience is different. Every script is different. There's so many tools, and different teachers, the way they teach it, the way they explain it and demonstrate it. And it's an ongoing learning experience. You can be a teacher and a student and an actor. And I think we're all those things at the same time. You're constantly learning. You know, I'll teach one thing tonight, but I can't wait to learn again from Ted Brunetti. I mean, that's, you know, it's not listen to what I have to say. It's listen to what I've learned recently, and then I'll come back with more stuff I'm going to learn to share. That's, you know, I think I'm less of a teacher and more of a sharer of things I've learned and stolen.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So those are the great teachers. And I just want to share what I can try to wrap my head around and utilize from them. So no, it's amazing.
Exactly. I know it's so true because, and I've had half a dozen I went from Howard Font. Well, Richard Hatch was my first acting coach. I took my first class with him back in '94, literally at his house.
Richard Hatch. Was that in LA? Where was that?
It was in LA. Yeah. I met him at the 15-year Battlestar Galactica reunion convention in 1993.
That's so cool.
And he had a flyer on his table for an acting class. And I had always wanted to take an acting class. And I was like, all right, I'll take one with Richard Hatch. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, what the hell?
And it was at his house. And it was like every Thursday night up in LA, you know, kind of like behind Sam French bookstore. And it was, you know, it was wonderful. It was eye-opening. And that's how he and I became friends. And but I didn't do another acting class until 2012 when I signed up for Howard Fine. And that was wonderful and daunting. And his big note to me was, because since I'm not an actor, since, you know, I'm not an artist, I'm a business guy. I coached and coaching it, but he said to me, he said, Alec, you've lived your entire life in your left brain, and I need you to live in your right brain. And that's going to be your biggest challenge in acting.
Oh, wow.
And it was, it is, it still is.
Sure.
But yeah. And then, so I went from Howard to Ted Brunetti and Marilyn McCreary, who are awesome. And then stayed with Ted for a while, then went to Richard Hatch and then back to Ted. And everyone is different, and everyone, you know, and sometimes things click and sometimes they don't, you know, and and Ted is just a bundle of energy.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was in an auditorium the first time I saw him. He was this little speck on the stage and he was overwhelming. And I was like, wow. And I was like, holy moly, you can't help but pay attention and listen. It's infectious.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way I can describe it. I was just infected by it. It was like, wow. You know, I was like, I hope this is good stuff because the energy is getting me already. I'm already focused on him. And then it was constant moments of discovery of like, oh, okay. Oh, well, that makes sense. You know, I learned it as this, but when I hear him explain this as this, and, you know, I still work on triggers in class based upon the way I heard him teach it for free that one night in that auditorium. I was like, that's amazing. I remember two other friends of mine who teach, we were in the auditorium sitting in different places. And when he brought up the whole idea of triggers on the page, we kind of looked at each other like, what the hell is that? What is that? You know, we always do to listen and to react, but it was such an interesting tool of really forcing you to listen to understand as opposed to listening to respond. You're listening to understand. So you really, you took things personally. You were listening to the words and to the intentions as opposed to shitty acting, which is waiting for your cue. Because when in life do you wait for your cue? Never. You know, you respond with, where do you get your impulses from? And it was all these beautiful things tied together with him just with an overhead projector and a couple of highlighters. And I'm like, genius. Bouncing
from side to side.
Yes. Yeah. Genius.
He's a constant whirlwind of motion.
Yeah. It was just, again, infectious. He's a teaching machine. You just sit there and you absorb. And if you pay attention, you get from him, which is great. So I look forward to doing it again. Yeah.
Oh no, it's awesome being and I kept taking classes with him even after we shot Prelude. I was with Richard and then him took auditioning classes. Not that I was ever going to audition, but his and he talked about it last week on the show. You'll have to go back and watch the show. But he always talks about auditioning are opportunities to work. Mm-hmm. That's it. He said, you're not going to get a job. If you think it's about getting a job, you're never going to get the job. No. He says it's an opportunity to show your work.
Another time to work the craft. I just tell people don't audition. Just do the job. Prep to do the job. You know, you'll never be more prepared if you prep to do the job.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't even like the word audition. It it has a connotation of having to prove yourself, which puts your focus in the wrong place. Because now audition says I've got to prove myself to the director and the writer and blah, 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 where all your focus should be on your obstacle, on the subject of your objective. It should be on the person within the scene who is in the way of you achieving your goal. And that's where it should be. And not on, if you do your work, they'll be impressed. But if you go in there to impress them, then you're not focused on the work. And
then you're going to suck. Yeah. And so Ted would always say, he said, look, you're not go in knowing you're not going to get the job. Yeah. You're not worried about getting the job. You're worried about doing your work so well that when the right role for you comes up, the casting director remembers you.
Absolutely. And I talk about it. I tell people, your job's not to book the job. Your job is to book the room, which means when you leave, they go, wow, he was great. It's a shame we don't have anything for him. Maybe next time. So
yeah, right.
They bring you back. That's booking the room where now you're getting residual auditions. So, and it comes down to just how many times can you be good and do good work in front of them where it's your turn, where the stars align and you're right for the part and everything works out. And, I was joking. My definition of a booking is the occasional residual effect from constant strong work. You got to be strong all the time, where occasionally you're subjectively judged as being right for the part, and okay. And then the casting director can get behind you because you've done good work consistently for long enough where they can go, okay, you've earned a job. And you're like, okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
Well, and I'll tell it again. I'm sure some of the fans here are sick of hearing, but I met I don't know, are you a fan of Boston Legal?
I loved it. Love Boston Legal.
So I met a guy named David Dean Bottrell, and he had reached out to me back in like 2014, 15, after we had successfully kickstarted. And he said he ran the Los Angeles Science Fiction One-Act Play Festival. Ran for 3 years. It was amazing. Wow. Amazing. I got to work with Will Wheaton and Tucker Smallwood, and he wasn't on stage with me, but I mean, it's Ritter's son. I forget his name. Jason
Ritter. Yeah.
Jason Ritter. I got to work with some great people. Awesome. René Auberjonois, a bunch of Star Trek people. Yeah. So we sit down to eat lunch. We were at the sandwich place, and we're talking, and he's telling me about himself. He said he was an actor, but he hadn't done it in a while. I said, really? I said, have you been in something I've seen? And he said, I was in Boston Legal. I go, oh, who are you? And he said, I was Lincoln Meyer. You remember the gay Truman Capote serial killer?
Oh, yeah.
That was my friend David. So I go, right. I go, yes, that was you, wasn't it? And I was like, that was the best character on the whole show.
That's pretty funny.
It was. I always tell people, if Truman Capote was a serial killer, that was Lincoln Meyer.
Great, I do remember that. That's very specific. Yeah, wow. Yeah.
And so the best part about that, though, was he told me how he got that role, and he got a phone call. He had gotten out of acting and was writing. He was working as a writer and he's an acting coach too. Mm-hmm. And he got a phone call, and the phone call was, you don't remember me, but in an audition 18 years ago, you came to an audition 18 years ago where I saw you, and I have the perfect part for you.
18 years.
And he said, okay. And he came in, read for the producers of Boston Legal. David E. Kelly loved them, booked them. It was supposed to be one episode. It turned out to be like a dozen episodes. They loved him so much, they kept bringing him back. He said, they kept bringing me back and raising my pay. I wasn't going to say no. And that's how,
You never know. What's it say? You only fail if you quit. Other than that, you're just on a journey, and, you're going to get opportunities, and they're going to be dry spells. And you just keep, he was working. He was teaching the craft. He was involved in the craft. And it's, as long as you don't quit.
And he was perfect for that role. Whatever they saw in him 18 years ago, he nailed it. He was brilliant. I went back and watched those episodes again recently just because he's my friend. And I was like, I messaged him, David, you were so freaking brilliant in that show. Listen, everyone was great in that show. That was such a great show.
I literally can go back. They have them on YouTube now where people have edited together just all the last 2 minutes of all the episodes with Shatner and Spader talking. And I remember thinking, that show just get my favorite 2 minutes every week was the last 2 minutes of Boston Legal. Not that I didn't love the show. I love the show. But it was just waiting for those two just to drink scotch, smoke cigars, and just talk about life. It was
crazy shit. It was great. And listen, that's the show that Shatner won his Emmy Awards for.
Just when you didn't think he can reinvent himself again, bam! He's almost. This is sacrilegious. He was almost for a while more Denny Crane to me than he was anything else. Because
I know he was so good as Denny Crane.
Oh my God!
Which was, I bet, like it was basically a big caricature of himself.
Yeah. Oh, nobody better at playing himself than Shatner. And somehow, as off kilter as he was, he blended in. You bought it. You didn't go, he's a cartoon. That's just who he is. He walked it and talked it, and he still does, and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is great. What was your first Star Trek?
The original series. Was that what you mean? Yeah.
It was the first show that brought you in. You're probably not as old as me, but you're old enough for it to be the original series.
Well, I'm 54.
I'm 59.
There you go. So right there. So yeah, it was the original series. I was born in '66.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in New York. I was born in the Bronx. We lived in Long Island for a while. My family
Where?
In Smithtown, Long Island, in Center Reach.
Yeah, well, I was I was born in New York, lived in Forest Hills, moved to East Norwich, then Scarsdale, and then back down to Lloyd Harbor.
I went to Forest Hills Day Camp when we lived in Queens.
Oh, okay.
I still remember the goofy picture with the T-shirt, Forest Hills Day Camp.
I went to Adelphi University undergrad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll tell you my Forest Hills story. I remember the oldest memory I have is my cousin, God rest her soul, she just passed away from cancer, taking me to the roof of our apartment building the night the Beatles were playing Shea Stadium. Now, you couldn't see anything, but you could just hear. All you heard was screaming. That's all you heard. Just heard. She was a Beatles, because she was growing up in the 60s. She was a young girl. She was a Beatles fan, and she was a teenager at that time. And
John Testament, Syosset. Nice. I know Syosset.
Oh, sure. Yeah, exactly. So you watched, like I did, Star Trek 6 o'clock every night on WPIX channel.
Religiously.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, it's so funny. You remember it as if there was a new episode for decades. But it was only a couple seasons, right? How many episodes? With 40 episodes? How many episodes? 40?
The original was 79.
Oh, there are that many. Okay, great. Okay, and you've seen everyone dozens of times because you didn't stop watching them. It was just every time you watched it, it was on. This is what you did. You watched Star Trek and you discussed it and you talked about it and you mimicked it and you acted the scenes out. And it was just, I have friends, younger friends of mine who got into the subsequent shows, and I've seen episodes of all the series, but I've never religiously followed Next Generation or Voyager or any of those. But I've caught episodes. I have a buddy of mine who's a huge fan, and he kind of knows my taste. So he'll call me up and go, Deep Space Nine, Season 3, Episode 12. You'll like it. So he kind of knows my taste, and I get lists of specific episodes to go and watch. I got CBS All Access for a little bit of time because I wanted to watch Patrick Stewart in Picard, and I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it because he's great. So when it was on him, it was phenomenal. Again, they just when they would go off on the B stories, it was okay. But I'll watch season 2. I just think he's great, so I can watch him do anything. Right?
And it was good to see Brent Spiner.
Really was. Sure.
I thought he was good, and I actually thought it worked.
Yeah.
Like his character worked. I was like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
And I love the holograms on the La Serena.
It was awesome.
That was just brilliant. That was brilliant. I can't wait to see it again just for that, if nothing. I'd watch a whole show just about that ship.
It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. Now they did greenlit. I think they greenlit season 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, it's already in pre-production. Yeah, one of my friends got one of the main jobs on that show.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we chatted, and he reached out to me actually about Star Trek, and anyway, so I showed him our bridge, and he was like, "That's pretty freaking good," and which is high praise from him. So
that bridge was amazing. Your bridge was fantastic. I literally could watch an entire show of Picard. I don't even need action, just him retired on that gorgeous vineyard, just dealing with those two other people who live with him. I believe
the Romulans.
Romulans. To me, that was my favorite thing when he'd venture out a little bit and do the interview and get pissed off and come back. Just watching him deal with that, to me, that was my favorite part of the whole thing. I could just watch that. He was great. He was great. What's the new show that was greenlit? That's the
Pike show, Star Trek Final Frontier. No, New Voyage.
Yeah. What the hell's it called? I forgot.
What is it called? What's the new show called? Star Trek. I want to say New Voyages, but that's not it. Strange New Worlds. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's right. I knew it was from the quote "Strange New Worlds." That's right.
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. No, did you watch Discovery?
I tried, man. I tried.
Yeah, it's a rough road to hoe for old timers like us.
I tried, and I probably watched the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I thought, you know what? As soon as Jason Isaacs comes on, I'm a madman crush on Jason Isaacs. I can watch him do anything.
He's great. I love him. I almost cast him. I was going to cast. We have a mutual friend, and I was going to cast him in Axanar.
Oh, he's awesome. He's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think I can do anything, but I just couldn't. It was too uneven for me, and I just kept losing me, and I was like,
yeah, I know. I think I'll. By the way, we've got 19 people watching on the Axanar YouTube channel. So we do all of our live streams now on the Aries Studios channel. We only do Axanar Confidential on the Axanar YouTube channel. So I'm going to urge all of you the 19 of you who are watching on the Axanar YouTube channel, hike over to the Aries Studios YouTube channel. We right now have 27 people on the Aries Studios YouTube channel. And so if we get up to 40, if 13 of you move over to the Aries Studios channel, I will give away a set of 12 Axanar vinyl stickers, as well as a keychain. Look at that. Oh, Rob, you got to check this out. Look at that.
Nice.
Right. Yeah. We just got these in.
That's great.
Yeah. I got to give you a challenge coin too. You don't have a challenge coin. We're going to have to hook you up with the challenge coin.
Oh, nice. Well,
yeah. I'll give me your address. I'll send you a box of swag.
Oh, sweet. I will take it. I will get to that.
Absolutely.
No, I appreciate it, bro.
You got to have swag. We have great swag. Brian Mickenfelder, I shipped out your package and sent you a PayPal invoice for the shipping. Just we got regulars here, so they order stuff and I see their name. I have to tell them what's up. Stephen Shuey, what's up? How are you? And then Alice Rosenzweig, how are you? I've known Alex for like 35 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Alex is part of the Starfleet International, which is the Star Trek fan club. There's a Star Trek fan club called Starfleet International. We've been around for like 40 years, and Alex is part of that. I knew him when I was part of it back in the 80s. So, well, tell us. Okay, so what are some? I know. As a matter of fact, everyone should be watching Watchmen, just because since today is Juneteenth.
Sure.
You should watch Watchmen, the HBO miniseries, because it really, really is relevant. But the best part of that miniseries is Rob Pralgo has a role in it. Tell us about that.
I was fortunate enough to book a part. It's episode 4. I won't give away any spoilers or details about it, but I had a nice couple of days on set shooting episode 4. It was a great experience.
Here in Atlanta?
Just south of the city. Just south of Pinewood, that whole area down there. And they were based out of what studio? Atlanta. So they're based out of one of the studios, but we were on location on this beautiful piece of land, and it's a great 2 days. HBO is obviously first class. They have they set the bar for quality, and it was an honor to work on that for a couple of days, and it's a great show. It's a great show. We're revisiting the movie right now because they do a lot of referencing of the movie, and
absolutely.
So
it is
to go back to
the movie
together again.
Yeah,
it's funny when I watched the original movie back in the day. I read the graphic novel, and it's funny. It was very powerful. I wasn't a huge fan of all of it. I loved Rorschach, and I was a big fan of just the way the comedian, the characters, the way they worked. And that was one of my favorite things when I heard they were making a faithful adaptation of the movie. I go, well, if it's a faithful adaptation, I'm not going to really like it, but I'm going to love Rorschach and I'm going to love the comedian. And lo and behold, I loved Rorschach and I loved the comedian in the movie. And then it was like, yeah. But over the years, it's really held up well. And it's got to the point where I really do dig that movie a lot.
Dude, I am with you. I am with you.
Cool.
That movie gets such shit from people.
Yeah.
And I think Zack Snyder made a great movie.
Yeah.
Listen, take away the graphic novel, then again, don't, because the credit scene, the beginning credits are just such a beautiful frame by frame, practically, panel by panel copy of that, which was so brilliant. That is one of my favorite title sequences of all time. But I was like you, I read the graphic novel, and now granted, I didn't read the graphic novel when it came out. I read the graphic novel in probably the early aughts.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little dated at that point. And I'm not a fan of David Gibbons' artwork. Even though I know the guy and he's awesome. I love him. I met him once. I should say I know him. I met him. We hung out a little bit. But I find the graphic novels, which was so groundbreaking at the time, I'm just like, there's so many great graphic novels now. I put Kingdom Come up there. That's my favorite graphic novel.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I find myself a fairly simple man. I'm sort of my tastes tend to run to basic storytelling, 3-act structure, and I'm sort of locked into basic storytelling. So some of the great filmmakers of all time venture off that. So, even when we're talking about Scorsese or the Coen brothers, there were times when the movies just kind of hit me in the head and I go, I don't get it. It doesn't work for me. I know full well watching it, it's a great movie and it's me. It's not the material that's dense. It's me that's dense. I get that. That's like with Watchmen, I go, this is probably a great graphic novel, but I'm too dense to get it all. The subplot with the pirate ship, I was like, what is going on here? Leave me alone. I don't want to, just get me back to the main storyline. And so I was kind of glad. I haven't seen the director's cut of Watchmen, but the regular cut didn't have that in there. So again, it was streamlined enough for me over time. I just really dug it. We watched half of it last night, and Snyder's visually is a genius.
He is. I agree.
I mean, I think maybe his storytelling is a little more subjective, but I don't think you can deny visually that he's got just one of the great eyes of all time. I think.
When you look at 300, Sucker Punch, Watchmen.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. All
3 movies are brilliant visually.
Yeah.
Brilliant. By the way, we need 4 more people on the Aries Studios channel, and then I'll do the giveaway. But we're at 36 right now, so you guys are getting there. But there's 12 of you languishing on the Axanar YouTube channel, so move on over. Anyway, no, I agree. I totally agree with you about Watchmen. I just think I think too many people are tied to the graphic novel.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of like, it's not Star Trek. Well, no, Picard is not it is Star Trek. It's just not the Star Trek you want. The Star Trek you want is called the Orville.
Yeah, that's very funny. That's very funny.
Are you a fan of the Orville?
Again, it's hot and cold. There are episodes that work for me, and then there are episodes that are just so, I just think so blind, that's so off kilter, and so half of it's funny and half of it's so. I just think he misses. I think he takes. I respect that he takes such great risks that sometimes when you take great risks, you're going to fail sometimes. So I think it's literally a flip of a coin with him, where I'm enjoying the hell out of it, or I sit here and I go, he's just tone deaf. It's so tone deaf to certain things. There was one episode. It's specific, and I haven't watched it in about a year and a half. About a year. There was one episode where one of the subplot was about the alien guy doing porn or being porn addicted, but the A story had something to do, I want to say, with children in school, something very wholesome. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm having a hard time. I'm uncomfortable watching it. And again, it's me, maybe, But then there were episodes I loved, flat out loved. You know, I could watch Norm Macdonald voice anything.
He's great. He's great.
You know, so
Yeah.
But yes, I got through all season 1, and again, it was hot and cold, but enough to get me through it. And then I kind of season 2 lost me a little bit, but I'll go back and binge everything because I'll get in the mood and I'll be in the mood for Seth MacFarlane. And I'll just go, let's go, and you know, I'll do it.
Yeah.
What's that show? What's that HBO show about the ship in space? Was it Avenue 5? Has anybody seen that?
I have not. I'm sure others have. Hey, cool VFX. How are you? Has anyone seen? Is that Avenue 5? Sounds familiar. That sounds like the one with what's his name from House?
With House, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. I saw a couple of the episodes while I was traveling, and I liked it. I was waiting for the production value is spectacular. You can tell there's money in it, and it's and again, it's well cast. I think it was still trying to find its footing when the couple episodes I watched.
This I will say, season 2 of the Orville is better than season 1.
Okay,
because they toned down the humor a little bit.
Okay,
which I really liked. I found season 1 there's too much humor. Season 2 I was like, okay, it's still funny, but it's not.
I dug their relationship. I really dug their relationship, and I think when they kind of broke them up, they lost me a little bit. I don't know why. I think they lost what was the strength there, at least to me anyway. But again, I'll get back and I'll revisit everything, and I'll have a good time doing it. So it'll be fine.
By the way, we're at 30.
Herb, you, Laurie. Thank you. I can't believe I forgot you.
Laurie. There you go. You, Laurie. We're at 39. One more person on the Aries Studios channel, and we do the giveaway. God, you guys are so different. 11 people wasting away on the Axanar YouTube channel, which is a great YouTube channel. We just hit 88,000, by the way.
By the way, Jim, yes, I'm not what they call a picky actor. Work breeds work. So if you offer me a role in a play you're doing in your garage, I'm going to say yes. So if the Orville offered me a role, I would do yes. I would be honored to work on Seth MacFarlane's show. Yes, I could sit here and critique or whatever. But that being said, I
have to think about yes.
Right. Yeah, yes.
One neuron to the other is enough time for me to think.
Yeah, I'll answer the question with yes before you even answer the question. Rob, would you yes?
Yes, exactly.
As long as my life is not in danger, the answer is yes. I like to work. Work breeds work.
Yeah.
So.
And when I see Avenue 5, the trailers, the commercials, I'm immediately thinking Fifth Element. So I kind of want to see how Fifth Element it is. It may not be at all.
I'll let you judge. I'll say to me, it wasn't reminiscent of Fifth Element to me. It was just it doesn't feel that far in the future to me. It's 20 years as opposed to whatever that is. That's what it feels like to me. It's a little slapsticky. The characters are a bit absent-minded in a way. They're a bit goofy. They're all talented. It's a good-looking show, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
I'll go back to that quicker than I'll go back right now to Discovery, I think, or I think right now when I go back, it'll be Avenue 5, Orville. Then we'll see what's out at that point. Hopefully I'll have a nice list of episodes of the old shows, whether it's Enterprise or Deep Space Nine or.
I can hook you up with a list too if you need any.
Maybe get your favorites.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good stuff. But well, listen, I am really excited to do this bar scene with you. Oh, do I still have to send you the script, or did I send?
Yeah, you said you're going to send me you said the latest one. You didn't know if I had the latest one. Yeah,
I'll send once we get offline. I'll send it to you. But I'm really excited, and you and I need to. We can just get together online and work it.
Sure.
But it's really, I'll tell you the little story about that. It's really April's scene. It's not Garth's scene. Mm-hmm. It's really about April. So when Alexander Bornstein, who's our composer, who's brilliant, he worked for he was Hans Zimmer's assistant, and then he was Bear McCreary's assistant. So amazing pedigree. That's why our music rocks. And so he had the funny story about he contacts me in like 2013, and he's like, "Hey, I hear I read that on Trek Movie that you're going to make a Star Trek film. I want to score it." And I go, "Okay, well, why don't we meet?" I said, "Do something for me. and show me what you got, kid. Right? And so we go, we hit 40. Okay, I'll pick someone out here. So we go to same sandwich shop, just a different location, and we sit down. He pulls out his Apple computer and goes, okay. He goes, hands me some earbuds. Says, here, listen, I'm going to play you what I wrote. And I go, okay. And I start listening, and I'm just going, holy fucking shit, this guy is good. He was so good. He blew me away.
That's really cool.
I go, you got talent, kid. Yeah, you got the job. And I mean, you listen to this stuff. We sell the soundtrack album all the time, and it's amazing. So anyway, he did the main theme, and he did Karn's theme, and then he does this one piece, and he goes, oh, Alec, I'm sending you another piece of music. I go, okay, and he sends it to me, and I was like, I'm not feeling this. Yeah. So I call him up and I go, Alex, I listened to it, and I don't see where it fits. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I should have told you. That's the bar scene.
Oh.
And I go, yes, it is the bar scene. And I go back and I listen to it. I pull out the script and I hit play, and I'm like, fuck, this is brilliant. This is freaking brilliant. Call him back and say, yeah, you're right. It's brilliant. And what he did so well on a few pieces, there's another piece he did for the final scene in Axanar, is he writes so well for that particular scene.
That's amazing.
It's just like it. You just go, yeah, that's it. You got you felt the beating heart of that scene and turned it into music. It's just, he's fucking brilliant.
So talented. I just watched I just finished up watching on Disney Plus Gallery, which is the behind the scenes of The Mandalorian, and I enjoy all behind the scenes stuff. And there's such talented people working on that. But I think the last episode was about the score, and the guy who did the score and how he was brought on, and the instruments. It was just breathtaking to watch somebody that freaking talented who can play every instrument, and it all just works with him in concert, no pun intended, and how he would see something and feel it, and just as he was delivering pieces of music, and it was just it gives me goosebumps just to watch people like that just create. It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Well,
his name, shoot.
Oh, by the way, we got to give out the decals. They're still holding for it. So what I need you to do is pick a number between 1 and 20.
17.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. PJ White, have you won before? If you've won the decals before, let me know. I'll give them to someone else. I'll still give you the keychain. PJ's local too. PJ lives here in Atlanta.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So PJ, there you go. So congratulations. Well, and thank you, Mater Kane. I appreciate that. Believe me, Axanar Star Trek I want too. So just to give everyone the updates, the update of what's happening, we're going to be shooting hopefully the end of July, 2-day shoot here in Atlanta. It's a test run for LA. We've got a COVID-19 compliance officer, which in this case is Crystal Hubbard, who is one of our producers. She's going to go through the certification. You have got to go through an online certification. We are going to, it's everything. We're going to take your temperature at the front. We're going to ask you to get a test beforehand. We're going to, it's a small crew. Even though it's 2 cameras, it is going to be, I think we've got 4 on camera, DP, camera op B, camera op A, focus puller A, so first AD A, gaffer, sound, because 1 camera will be on sticks. So I think there's 5 there. Gaffer's going to double as G&E, and then makeup and whatever. And for that, our makeup is beauty makeup, so it's all just person out in the lobby. So it's going to be masks, it's going to be disinfectant, it's going to be everything. So we think we can, and then we're going to film the whole thing. We're going to have people behind the scenes filming the whole thing. And then we're going to cut a little quick documentary, 10 minutes on like, okay, here's how we shot. Here's how we were fully COVID-19 compliant, safety compliant on an independent film.
That's very cool.
And share that with everyone. Knock wood, everything goes well. And Ted Brunetti's coming down for that. So I'm going to try and get him to come down the whole week so he can hang out with us, and we'll just milk him for knowledge all week.
That would be amazing. That would be that's worth its weight in gold right there. That's just to be able to kind of marinate with a script and him and just kind of
right
and see how that'd be great.
We'll just go to a bar and work on it.
It's
and
awesome.
Just get hammered while we rehearse.
I remember I think he told the story about Gandolfini, how there was like 8-9 hours a day. They would sit there, they take a break for lunch, and then back to it, and just bam.
I'm like 8-9 hours a day. Holy crap!
Great.
That's just insane. Yeah, but he just told that story last week on Axanar Confidential.
Oh, that's cool.
How they shut themselves in the hotel room and
I need to go watch that.
Oh, watch it. Yeah, it's great. Well, and one of the things he said about Gandolfini was like, he's like, hey, look, he's Gandolfini. He knows how to act. But what Ted felt his role was just to give him different ways to think about things. Well, have you thought about it this way? Have you thought about it this way?
Yep.
Which is wonderful and great, which is what I'm excited about. I'm excited about. Yeah, I'm excited about it too, because to work on it with him, because I'm worried about that scene. That's one of the scenes that I wasn't crazy about for Garth, only because I'm like, oh, that's just a little too easy to fall into certain traps there without that aren't necessarily genuine. Not the least of which is that I've got a pretty substantial ego, and Garth doesn't really. And so when Garth gets named fleet captain, if it was, oh, Alec Peters, your fleet captain, I'm like, damn right I am. But Garth is like, oh shit, I don't really fucking, that's a little too much. That's a little too much, right? So that's like, oh, okay. So where in my life where was I feeling like that in my life? Because my whole attitude is like, attack everything. You're good enough for everything. If I don't know, I'll
your enemies. Crush your enemies.
Yeah, so I'm just like, that's why I'm just not like, oh god, that scene's gonna. I'm really concerned about making sure it's genuine.
Well, you can't have a better coach, for the love. I mean, it's just it's if it sucks, it's definitely your fault because it wasn't his fault. We had Ted Brunetti, we still were terrible. We're just terrible. That's just that's just the way it is. We're not good.
You can tell everyone knows me. Everyone knows me here. So thank you for your confidence, everyone. Oh God,
I missed the ego bus. Nice, funny.
Well, good. Listen, we're over. It was a wonderful having you on, Rob.
My pleasure. I didn't realize an hour gone by. Holy crap, that flew. That was great.
I know, huh? We'll have you on again. Maybe we'll do Axanar Confidential the Friday before we shoot. We'll shoot Axanar Confidential with Ted, like the three of us.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be that.
I would love it. Let's shoot Axanar Confidential at a bar where we're drinking, so they can relive the bar scene with us.
Yeah, that's good. I'm game.
As Robert and Garth.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we should do it in character.
That's
our Confidential, and we'll do it as April and Garth in character.
Absolutely. We got to do it quickly because we'll have the sideburns cut correctly.
Oh, right? Yeah. I did that for the last shoot. For the last shoot, I let my sideburns go for like 2 haircuts.
Nice.
Don't touch them.
Nice.
Don't touch them. My makeup person will touch them.
I got my hair cut yesterday for the first time since February. I literally had this flowing gray salt and pepper mane that looked like I was approaching that Mel Gibson Lethal Weapon mullet, but only grayer. And literally, this girl's been cutting my hair since I was 19. Friends of mine. Literally, the floor was like, "What the hell?"
Wow!
Like I was starting to get that Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees thing with the he looks like
Ian Roy.
It's like, well, yeah, exactly. It's like, right, exactly. That's exactly what I look like. My head is 10 pounds lighter today. It's like,
I know. Oh, God. Yeah. Like, well, I had not only let it, Crystal had used the clippers on it, but I also, it was going a little too gray because, like, if I don't color my hair, I look like Bill Clinton. It's like all gray. So I have to do it. And now I always have to match it. Like, all right, okay, so this is 4 years war, so I have no gray. Okay. And then, so it's like how
sure.
I haven't
colored my hair yet. It's just some days it looks darker because of the product I put in it. But boy, when it was longer, the last month, it's just you saw the gray. It was like well, we'll see. We'll get to it. Well, it's, the alternative to getting older is not getting older. So let's get older. It's this side of the dirt at this point. So.
Hey, listen, I turned 60 in 2.5 months.
Wow, that's a big one. Nice, good for you.
No, it's really like the first birthday that I'm dreading. Like I've always been like, I mean, 35 was important because I remember when my dad was 35. So that was the first one where I was like, wow, I'm kind of old. I'm as old as I remember my dad once being.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then 50 was like,
oh well.
50, I was like, I'm 50. 50 is the new 40. Who
Absolutely.
But 60 is like, holy shit. 60 is like, that's like old. I'm like 5 years from Medicare. That's like, so I'm like on a mission to be in the best shape of my life. I'm like on Peloton every morning and I'm doing push-ups and crunches and yeah.
You got to do it. You got to fight off. Right sublet wrote Sam Elliott. I'm like, yeah, my hair was not quite Sam Elliott in Roadhouse, but another couple of months, it would have been.
Oh my God, Roadhouse, Sam Elliott.
Yeah, the little loops. Oh hell yeah!
One of the
Sam
best.
Elliott Roadhouse, the coolest.
One of the movies. Yes, one of the movies that I try and run my life by Dalton's words. First of all, Dalton, who is Patrick Swayze, my nephew Dalton got his name from Roadhouse. Patrick, which I don't remind him of, but that's his parents told me. But anyway, it's like. What is Dalton's number one rule? Be nice.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. People always talk about, in class, I tend to preach that there's no real rules to acting. People always want to tell you the rules of acting. They're acting tools, but there are no real rules. And I go, the rules of acting are, it's the same rules of being a Cub Scout. Be prepared, be on time, be nice. And that's the prepared. The prepared is huge. That's the studies and that's the experience. Be on time. Well, you live in Atlanta, leave early. Be nice. It doesn't cost you a freaking, you meet people, you think it's costing them an arm and a leg to be freaking nice. And I'll be brutally honest with you, of all things being equal, if the talent's the same and I got somebody nice or I got a D-bag, the nice person is getting the job. So, it is what it is. Be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Lord.
My friend is a producer in Hollywood. His partner is Bill Condon, who directed Beauty and the Beast and Fourth Estate and the last two.
Gods and Monsters? Did he do Gods and
Monsters? He won the Academy Award for that screenplay. Yeah, exactly. And but my friend says, Alec, people in Hollywood work with the people they want to work with. Just remember that.
Yep.
If you're an asshole, no one's going to want to work with you.
Exactly. So, and it's just Hollywood is littered with the stories of people who had talent, but they just did not know how to talk to people. They did not know how to be nice. It's all, it's fear and ego and just, and
those are two things. One, you don't know how to talk, or two, people that don't do the work.
Yeah.
That can't finish.
People don't realize it's work. Good products don't magically come out of it. People work hard. Talented people put in long hours and work very hard.
Yeah.
At this. And nobody gets better at something by working at it less. Nobody ever says,
right.
Nobody ever says, Alex, that was great. You must have spent no time on that. That's not how it works, right? And
I want to thank everyone. Listen, we're going to do a real quick, do the real quick commercial here to keep Aries Studios is a not-for-profit. We run on your donations, you the fans out there. We have a Patreon campaign, and I hope you all will go and check out our Patreon campaign. Some of you are donors. I hope more. You give as little as $2 a month, helps keep the studio up and running. We also have the Aries Studio website, ariesstudios.net. And if you want to go there, we have a store. And in the store, we have all sorts of cool swag, like the stickers we gave away. And we just got some new stuff. We just got the keychain, the Aries keychain in stock, but we got a whole bunch of new pins. So check these collector's pins out. Let's see. House of Karn.
Nice.
Leonov. And the First Strike Squadron, which goes with the other pins that we had, the Ares, the Hercules, and the Ajax. So all this stuff and lots more T-shirts and bags and you name it, it's all in the Aries Studios store. Please go there. Every purchase goes to the studio and supports our mission of making great films and supporting the Gwinnett County school system here in Atlanta, which has free run of our studio anytime they want it.
That's cool.
So there you go. Well, listen, Rob, absolute pleasure. I'm so fired up for next month.
Oh, me as well. This is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to read the new script and I get the sides and just working with you guys and just getting back on set will be a nice positive feeling after what everybody's going through and COVID, and, what's going on. But thanks everybody for having me. This is a blast. Let's do this again. And
we will. We'll talk to Garth and April about them doing it too.
God, we'll keep taking care of the puppies and I will do the same over here. And my best to everybody. And thanks for having me, everybody. You have a great night and have a great weekend.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much. We love you guys.
Take care, guys. Bye.